Brought to you by the Dark Lord himself, Queasy Ali. Since the turn of the millennium, America's economy has moved through cycles of boom, bust, and recovery under presidents from both major parties. But when we step back and look at the full picture, clear patterns emerge, and they tell a story about leadership, priorities, and results. Under Democratic administrations, Barack Obama from 2009 to 2017, and Joe Biden from 2021 to 2024, the United States saw sustained job growth, steady GDP expansion, and rising incomes. Under Republican administrations, George W. Bush from 2001 to 2009, and Donald Trump from 2017 to 2021, the economy experienced weaker growth, higher volatility, and deeper recessions. Let's start with jobs, the foundation of every economy. Under Obama, roughly 11.6 million jobs were added, lifting the country out of the Great Recession. Under Biden, more than 27 million jobs have been created as of early 2024, not only recovering the pandemic losses but pushing employment to record highs. Combined, that's nearly 40 million jobs gained under Democratic leadership since 2000. By contrast, Republican presidencies have struggled. Under George W. Bush, only 1.3 million jobs were added across 8 years. Under Trump's first term, early gains were wiped out by the COVID-19 collapse, ending with a net loss of about 2.9 million jobs. In total, Bush and Trump together left the country with roughly 1 million fewer jobs than they started with. Now, GDP growth, the pulse of national prosperity. Obama's 2 terms averaged around 2.3% annual real GDP growth, a steady climb from the ashes of the 2008 crash. Biden's administration averaged roughly 3%, boosted by the post-pandemic rebound and infrastructure-driven investment. Under Republican leadership, the numbers fall short. Bush managed around 2.4% annual growth before the 2008 crisis pulled the economy into free fall. Trump's first term began with promise but ended with a pandemic contraction so deep it brought his average down to just about 1%. When we look at the stock market, the pulse of investor confidence, the trend continues. Under Democrats, the markets have soared. The S&P 500 nearly tripled during Obama's presidency and has risen another 58% under Biden. Under Bush, it fell, weighed down by the dot-com collapse and the 2008 financial crash. Under Trump, the market did rise about 68% before the pandemic crash, but the longer, steadier bull runs belong to the Democratic years. The unemployment rate tells its own story. When Obama took office, unemployment was at 7.8%, a crisis inherited from Bush. By the time he left, it had fallen to 4.7%. Biden took over with unemployment at 6.4% and brought it down to around 3.9% by early 2024, near the lowest level in half a century. Under Republicans, the pattern reverses. Bush started at 4.2% and ended at 7.8%. Trump began at 4.7%. Dipped to 3.5% at the peak of 2019, but left office amid chaos and crisis with unemployment back to 6.4%. Every modern president has run deficits, but the scale of debt growth tells us something about fiscal responsibility. Under Obama, the national debt rose about 70%, roughly $8 to $9 trillion, much of it spent to pull the economy from collapse. Under Biden, about $7 to $8 trillion has been added, a 25% increase from $27.8 to $34.8 trillion, funding pandemic recovery, infrastructure, and clean energy transitions. Under Bush, the debt doubled, a 105% increase, driven by tax cuts, war spending, and the 2008 crash. Under Trump, debt jumped another 40%, or $8.2 trillion, in just one term. The difference lies not in spending alone, but in what the money built: recovery versus crisis, investment versus collapse. Now, wages, where prosperity becomes personal. Under Obama, real median household income finally recovered from the stagnation of the early 2000s, surpassing its 1999 peak. Under Biden, nominal wages have climbed fast, with average weekly earnings up nearly 5%, and as inflation cooled in 2023, real incomes began to rise again. Under Bush, household incomes fell in real terms and never regained late 1990s levels. Under Trump, wages climbed before the pandemic. 2019 marked a record high, but by 2021, COVID had erased those gains. Only under Biden did wages and household income rebound to new highs. Now, in the first year of Trump's second term, the pattern is returning, but not in the way he promised. In early 2025, the U.S. economy contracted by -0.3% in the first quarter, the first decline in 3 years. Unemployment hovered at 4.1%, labor force participation slipped to 62.3%, and inflation settled at 2.4%. Economists warn that new tariffs and trade tensions could shave nearly a full percentage point off GDP growth by year's end and push joblessness higher by another half point. So when we view the full canvas, 25 years of economic data, the pattern is unmistakable. Under Democratic leadership, America has built, recovered, and expanded. Under Republican leadership, it has faltered, crashed, and clawed its way back only to fall again. The numbers aren't partisan, they're proof. Stronger job growth, faster GDP expansion, greater stock market returns, lower unemployment, fairer wage distribution. Time and again, Democratic policies have delivered stability, investment, and opportunity for working Americans, while Republican policies have delivered instability, higher inequality, and preventable recessions. If a nation's strength is measured by how well it treats its people, not its billionaires, then the verdict is clear. The record of the 21st century shows it. Leadership matters, and compassion pays. Huizi Ali, the man, the myth, the legend. The icon aka the Dark Lord. Hashtag Revolution 2025 Hashtag Chaos Rising 2025 Hashtag South Poor Rebellion 2025 Hashtag Grieves Humanity Hashtag Economic Justice Hashtag Human Over Money.